September 1939. After 20 years of peace, war is upon the sea once again. Admiralty is committed to battling the Kriegsmarine in the North Sea. Britain's merchant shipping is scattered, vulnerable to attack, but German merchant ships are also vulnerable. Score hits on German convoys, protect British convoys, sink German raiders, do not spark an international incident. The scenario ends when 2 convoys are completed, British and or German. It may also end as a result of the German action table. And now, how do I turn this infernal thing off and fade? Come on, fade down. All right, assuming your eardrums survived that rousing intro, you may have noticed that I gave you the entire premise of this scenario, where I'll be playing the British. The weather is good. I have the initiative. And interestingly enough, there are no Germans on the board anywhere. But of course, that will change very soon as we roll on his little charts. And so, let's have a look at what we got. Here we have 2 task forces. Repulse. We also have Forbes. His ability is he can, when he's rolling results, he can change any die roll to a 6. We have 3 light cruisers in addition to the battle cruiser, and 1 light cruiser. And over in the next task force, we just have 1 light cruiser. We have 2 convoys. 1 coming out of Halifax and 1 coming from Africa. I think that's what these 2 tokens are for. This is if you got a lot of trajectories on the map and they all get intertwined. You can kind of remember who's going where they came from and things like that. Finally, in reinforcements, we have battleships, Rodney and the Valiant. And the French, we still have French ships. And these are the Strasbourg battle cruiser, the Montcalm, of course, light cruiser, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Okay, as you can see, the convoys are similar to the last scenario. And here, let me set my camera back up. By the way, those reinforcements, the 2 battleships, they would come in at Scapa Flow. The French ships would come in at Brest. And this is the light cruiser. And you have an option of putting it anywhere near adjacent to a port. I assume it means adjacent and not in when it says that. We'll just, I guess it says anywhere but Scapa, next to Scapa Flow. Okay, fair enough. And this is really the only one. I guess we'll just kind of play escort with that convoy there. And so on. What else is there to talk about? Neutral waters. We have this little thick white line, which is usually the U-boat zone. But in this case, it is the international neutral waters here. And it actually extends a little bit over here. I don't know if that'll come into play or not. And basically, if as the British do airstrikes or engage actions in there, I spark an international incident. And I have to roll on a dice on a chart to see what happens if there's political backlash or no adverse effect. So we have, I see. I see how this is. In the last scenario where I got absolutely crushed, there wasn't any rules for the British as far as international. Now I have to play by rules. Oh, yeah, okay, I see how you're playing now. Anyway, what else have we got here? 2 hits to destroy a British convoy, 1 hit to destroy a German convoy. Convoys may not disperse. Prize rules are in effect. And by prize rules, we mean that if either Germans or I am able to bring a convoy without any kind of escort into battle, there's no battle. It's just assumed I captured them. That's prize rules. Okay, I think I have everything I need to start. I'm going to try to keep these down to 30 minutes per video, because I want to shut it off, and I want to keep learning bayonets and tomahawks over here on the side. And if this takes up too much time, I'm not going to be able to get in some time for the other game too. So 30 minutes, let's shoot for that. I'll keep my eye on the time. Anyway, let's get started. Since there are no Germans on the board yet, there's kind of limited of what I can really do. I can either start getting these convoys into play here. The other thing I can do is bring in my reinforcements, and I think I want to go ahead and do that since in a sense, I have a free turn here. Although, as I said before, reinforcements are not automatic, so we're going to roll, and we need a 7 or higher to do it. Let's start with the 2 battle. Or should we start with the French? I don't know. Let's start with the battleships just for fun. Okay, we go to our reorganize action. We also attempt to bring in a reinforcement group. Roll 2 dice, no modifiers. 2 to 6 is a fail. 7 to 12 is a success. That is a fail, and I had a comment on another video who said I am the worst die roller he has ever seen, and you know what? I am inclined to agree lately. Although I have to say, when I first played that scenario off camera, I was doing very well. Sure he was. Nice fishtail. But we failed that, and having failed that, we do time-lapse, and time-lapse, we don't have a specific one, so we can pick one to time-lapse. Wait a minute, do I get to time-lapse or not? Keep initiative. Oh, wait a minute. No, fail time-lapse initiative change. That's okay. Yeah, I'll show you, so you don't think I'm pulling your leg. Result: fail time-lapse initiative change. Okay, I'm going to choose this one because that's going to put it within 6, and we can complete that the next time. Okay, it's off to the Germans. The Germans check for weather, as we always do when the initiative changes hands, and it does. Interesting. We are back. We are into bad weather now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick these launch markers over here, just as a reminder. A mnemonic device. Okay, oh, I forgot to mention, we also have, in addition to Forbes in the fleet, we have Pound. I just put them here because I don't want to reach all the way over to Scapa Flow box. And he has the all pass. We have 2 of those available to us that we can use at any time. We'll just kind of have them there like that. Okay, so we have bad weather for the Germans. What are the Germans going to do? We have 2 tables here. I can show them to you. Why not? We have early and late. And the difference is, hold on. Start with the early table, as you would expect. Use the late table after a battle has occurred or a convoy destroyed or after an airstrike action has been performed by either side. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. So, we roll, Germans roll on the table. They roll a 1. They roll an airstrike, which is not going to be possible right now. There's a 2 hex range for these. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, no. Okay. This base does not exist. And this base does not, well, that's British anyway, so it wouldn't matter. This German base does not exist until 1941 after the fall of France. Okay. How about this one? 1942 up there. Okay, what happens when there's an airstrike with no target? If the weather is bad, treat as a T result. So we flip over to the T. Trajectory action. Select an unidentified task force. If none in play, create a new unidentified task force in Murmansk. And then we will perform a trajectory action to determine where. And to do that, we will roll a dice. Hold on here. All right. Unidentified task force in Murmansk, way up there. Okay, where are they going to trajectory to? Performance trajectory actors, most direct route while avoiding intel triggers. If not enough segments to reach, stretch the trajectory as far as go. So, okay, let's roll the dice, see where we're going. Or where the Germans are going, that is. Trajectories in South America. Next, and the idea is we're going to complete in South America. So, off to South America. Let me grab my sticks. So we're going all the way from this corner of the map to all the way here. What are the odds I have enough trajectories to do that? Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I'm missing one. Hang on. I must interrupt here to comment. I do have to point out, in all fairness, this game does get a little fiddly. And because I went to count all these sticks for this task force, and I was 14, and I'm going over to my counter tray here, and I'm like, oh, where's that 15? Where's that last one? And I'm digging through all those white ones, and I can't find it, my OCD is just kicking in, and then I just happen to notice this little white stick stuck in the page there, camouflaged by the white on the white. Okay, returning to our scheduled program. Yes, rather than bore you with me just sticking 15 trajectory segments all over the map, me just humming along, I went ahead and just did it from here. And you'll notice I'm using the Denmark Straits so I can avoid aircraft, I believe, airstrikes. Well, it's bad weather right now, so I could have, maybe I should. Well, it's not going to shorten it by that much, so I think we'll just leave it like that. And the weather could change at any time, especially with a trajectory that long. So, what happens after they do this? If completion is impossible due to trajectory length or intel attachment, the Germans pass instead. So they set up this trajectory. Because it is unidentified, it is considered very slow. So it's going to... Oh, wait. This is bad weather. When it's bad weather, we roll a die rather than just whopping 2 off. So we roll D6 and 1. Okay. Weather is holding up the Germans, apparently. Okay, it passes to us. What do we want to do now? Now, here's where we start thinking about fighting these guys. Okay, I failed to bring in the reinforcements, but I have a very strong task force here. Let's put some pressure on the Germans while we can. I think we're just going to grab him. And we're going to trajectory up to that other trajectory and check it out and see if we can't find some guys. Find them. Oh, I just watched Top Secret for the first time in many, many years. And there's this great scene where the Germans are sitting there and they bring an intel report that so-and-so has escaped from prison, and it's on a little sheet of paper, and he pulls out a stamp and he stamps and it says, "Find him and kill him." I want a rubber stamp that says, "Find him and kill him." Great movie. All right, so we're going to go up here. Let's get right at them. Okay, now we're going to do the obvious. Since we still have the initiative, we're going to do a naval search. It's a very long trajectory. Not a whole lot I can expect to happen here. Let's go ahead, and we like to mark, just so there's no confusion. And we're going to search here. Can we see? Am I in the camera? I'd hate to shoot all this and realize that the camera was cut off. No, we're good. Okay. That's all. I got no coordinating forces. So this is going to be a straight die roll. Over here, here's my Navy search. We're going to be on the longest one, which is 16 plus. And it's going to be a straight roll on it. Let's see if we can get anything. This should be the search button. It should be the same colored theme. OCD kicking in again. Sorry. Okay, British, use British dice. And, it says, once I said, I got to use the German dice for the Germans, otherwise I'll jinx it. And then it's like, well, there's that. But there's also, okay, whose initiative, whose the turn is it? And if I've rolled the red dice, I know it's British. So I always want to use the correct dice for the correct side. So, naval search, straight roll. Boxcars, hey! Hey, whoever said my rolling is terrible. Gotcha. Checkmate. Okay. That is a shadowing result. We move everything but 3, and I get to pick the 3. So, great roll. That's going to cut them down to size now, isn't it? Okay. Okay. After a naval search, time lapse. All designated TFs except the target TF. Our feet, our feet. Well, my feet are fast, but so is my fleet. That means, oh, bad weather. Oh, bad weather. I gotta remember. I gotta find I wish there was some way to remember to do that for time lapse. I wonder if, there's just no real good way to do that. Unless I, like, do something like that. I might end up doing something like that. Okay. But anyway, roll a die for time lapse. 3. Fair enough. 1, 2, 3. And now we move to the seize initiative on the part of the Germans. Ooh, the Germans are mad at me. They do not. We still have the initiative. They get a +1 on their next die roll, and I can't imagine anyone can guess what I'm going to do next. Although, if I get another shadowing result, all I'm going to do is hand them an evasive maneuvers marker. Let me think. Actually, no. I'm going to be rolling on the 4 trajectory column, and that doesn't have any shattering results. That's just strictly contact and reduced to a station. I think I got these guys. I think I got the. We're very close to getting them. The worst thing that can happen is I can roll a 4, which would still be contact. So that's what's going to happen. We are going to search, and with them guys, let me think, is there any kind of extra? I forgot the, they're not next to their tail. I would say that would, no, that base doesn't even exist yet, so what am I even thinking about? Coordination, nope, it's just a straight roll. Let's find them. Yeah, I rolled the one thing that would okay, so I'm back on rolling terrible again. Oh well. But we don't go away empty-handed. They get contact. We will time lapse. And now they roll for their initiative. 7 + 1 is 8. They're still short. We still have the initiative. And now, I am a station. I am a rock. I am an island. They're not a station yet, so we can't engage them. But we can naval search again with much better odds. Rolling on the 4 column again with... Okay, it's considered a very slow... Oh, that doesn't... cause them to be identified. I don't think it does. Let me check. All right, I'm going to be hyper legal on this. It says when an unidentified task force incurs a result that affects one or more of its ships. Okay, we're not incurring anything here. We're just determining a modifier. So I'm going to say it's still very slow. That's going to give us a modifier of +4 on the naval search. Correct me if you think I am wrong on that. I think I might be being hyper literal on that, but I think they stay very slow as an unidentified task force. We do not identify them at this time. Okay, here we go. +4. 8. That's going to be a 12. That's going to be a battle. Now here's where we would start identifying that not a battle, a skirmish. If we are faster now, yes, this is an incurred result. This is what I'm going to call an incurred result. Now we need to find out what we're after here. And so the Germans are going to roll on this identify German task force. 5 to 6 is a convoy. Lucky us, because we succeed. Because we have the prize rules into effect. That is a convoy. And we bring a convoy to battle, and that I'm interpreting that as a skirmish is a battle. That would pull them off the battle. You never go to the battle board. And I think that's the hinging rule on the prize rule, is that you'd have to go to the battle board, which implies that you're fighting a battle. Ergo, convoy is captured. So, anybody disagree? Say so. But I think I'm reading that right. So, woohoo! We're doing a lot better, at least right now, as far as thing. Now, is there a way to mark how many convoys you've knocked down? Let me check here. Okay, and here's where my rules lawyering comes into play. Because my question was, now that we captured this convoy, do we go to the late table, like it says here? And I said, well, wait a minute, it wasn't destroyed, it was captured. But if you go over to the prize rules, it clearly says, instead automatically, in these scenarios when the convoy's TF is brought to battle and there's no other ship in its task force, which is the case, do not fight the battle. Do not transfer to the battle board. Instead, automatically the convoy is destroyed. Actually, it is captured and sent to a German port. So it uses the legal term destroyed there. So we're going to say, yes, it is destroyed. Germans will be rolling on the late table now. One little note here I need to make is that is still considered a battle, I do believe. And therefore, there would be mutual contact. And therefore, that task force would get a contact marker. I believe I have executed that correctly. Okay, now what? We just did a naval search. That's how that came about. Which means we do time-lapse, all designated time-lapse. We're a station already, no matters. And finally, we have seize initiative on the parts of the Germans at a +2 modifier. Wow, they're stinking it up. Now it's their turn to roll stinky. They're going to go to +3, and I still get to go. And I've got a clean board here. So, that being the case, if I completed this guy, we can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are in the port hex. I think we're going to do that. Completion. The inactive player gets to seize the initiative. Oh, he's at a +3, though. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to let him go with a +3? Decisions. Actually, I think I'm going to get all meta on you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pass action. That will pass the initiative to him. He'll lose that, and I'll just get something I know I can get, and that way I can roll. When I get the initiative back, I'll be rolling cleaner. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do it. And it's a roll. It's a bad weather. Ooh, and a nice roll, too. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That guy's in completion. So that worked out. Okay, so we have passed the initiative to the Germans. The Germans will check the weather. It does change. We are at good weather again. All right, so what are the Germans going to do? We're going to roll on the good table on the late column now. Technically, I could have ended the scenario if I'd completed that one. No, just, no, the scenario ends when 2 convoys have completed. Doesn't say anything about just being destroyed. Nope. Okay, so the Germans are going to 4. That's what they're going to do. They're going to 4. And that's an X result, which I think is called decisive action. Yes, select a German task force with a big battle cruiser in it. If none in play, select a task force that doesn't have a convoy in it. If no German task force qualify, create a new unidentified task force in roll a dice. 6 is South America. Really? Okay, fair enough. Give me a new task force. Let me get a blue stripy one so my dirty fingers don't smudge up the plain one from just overuse. Okay, so there he is in South America. He's unidentified. Action, if the selected TF has a damage... Oh, okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, hold on. Let me read. So, this unidentified task force is going to attempt to bring to battle the nearest British task force with a convoy. So one of these two... this is going to be the short one. So that's where they're going to go. And how about a little edit here? Let me try that again. Like so. Now you will see that I've kind of house ruling here. Normally it tells you to go to the nearest trajectory, which would be this one. But we know when we're naval searching, if we get a early or late result, and fail to poke a hole in the trajectory, he's just gonna hand me a evasive maneuvers marker on top of that, which I don't think a player would do. So we're gonna go ahead and let him try to split the convoy. Okay, and this is going to be a naval search. Also, he's avoiding intel. Never mind, he's avoiding intel triggers. If he'd went in there, he would have gotten an intel, and we're trying to avoid that. Yes, okay. So he's going to search here. Search that guy. He's going to use an active task force. That's this guy. Now, can I do anything? And the answer is no. Well, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's still British, but it's 2 hexes away, which would yield a 0 result. And since it's not a aircraft carrier, if it was an aircraft carrier, a 0 would be okay, because by doing that I'd be able to time lapse and things like that. That is one benefit. Everyone says, "Ooh, you shouldn't use a coordinating task force if the trajectory is longer. It's going to make your naval search harder." But you got to remember that if you designated, both the active and the coordinating task force get to time lapse. So that's a good strategy to keep in mind. Strategy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're going to roll on the 13 naval search column, which is there. It's actually a 10 to 15 column. I see no bonuses to anyone, so it's going to be a straight roll for them. A 9. A 9 yields a shadowing result. So be it. So they're going to remove all but 3. And they can't remove the target one. So that's going to be yes. Or this is what they would do. I mean, they want to keep me away from the port as much as possible. I mean, technically I could do but they would do that. that is less advantageous to us. It's not necessarily advantageous to them, but I think that's how a smart person would play that. Okay, let me check if there's anything in the shadowing I have forgotten. Move for all three. The active player removes the segments, but the segments in the target space may not be removed. If the trickery has only 3 or few. Okay. No, we did it right. We have done it right. Now, I wonder if this is going to bite me in the butt. I had a chance to complete some convoys there, and I didn't take them. Well, only one way to find out, and that's to keep playing. Okay, so, let me get my... Okay, so we naval searched. There was no intel marker, so there was no interrupting. They will time lapse in good weather, and it's a very slow task force due to the unidentified nature of it. So they will remove 2 from the back of their trajectory. And then I can attempt to seize the initiative. And I just lost a dice, and well, it was a German dice. We'll go catch it later. 7, not quite. Okay. So the Germans will continue to play. We have reached the 30-minute mark. I think I'm going to go ahead and end there. When we come back, we will see what the Germans do next. Thank you so much.